Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. First and foremost, I want to say my heart and my prayers goes out to all the people and all the families in Florida and that were affected from Hurricane Ian. As someone that's actually been in a hurricane, Hurricane Harvey, working alongside rescue workers, what few rescue workers we can even find, I can certainly tell you that most people have no idea the sheer devastation and power of water. And I have several stories that I can actually tell you guys that would absolutely blow your mind. And a lot of those stories has to do with people that refuse to leave their homes. But regardless, you guys, a lot of the homes that were impacted in Houston from Hurricane Harvey, a lot of those neighborhoods took over 2 years to recover. And most of those homes now have super high flood insurance, making those areas undesirable for people to move in. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the impacts of Hurricane Ian in Florida and other coastal areas. But first, what I want to do, guys, is I want to challenge you to listen to the end of this video because I'm going to donate $500 to a charity that's going to help first responders and victims of Hurricane Harvey. Now, I'm not rich, but I'm still going to donate $500. And I want to challenge you guys to also donate to any relief program to help a lot of these people out, you guys, because it's going to be a long time and a lot of rebuilding. And I believe that this hurricane that hit Florida is probably much worse than Hurricane Harvey. Because the thing with Houston was Galveston, which is our coastal city, is really not that nice. Florida got absolutely decimated. So we're going to look at what cities were impacted the most. But where I want to start, you guys, is listen to Governor Dos Santos just to get an idea of the severity of the storm.
Right now, if you look in Central Florida, you're looking at potential major flooding in Orange and Seminole counties, St. Johns River, all the way up potentially into Northeast Florida and Jacksonville. The amount of water that's been rising and will likely continue to rise today, even as the storm is passing, is basically a 500-year flood event.
So like Hurricane Harvey in Houston, y'all, we didn't get hit by the wind damage. We got hit by the sheer amounts of rainfall. And essentially that's what he's saying. So a lot of those cities and a lot of those towns that got hit, some of those homeowners probably didn't have flood insurance, which will change now being that it's in a floodplain. So a lot of housing is going to be a lot more expensive. And I'm really hoping that a lot of those people that got hit by Hurricane Ian had flood insurance, because the problem is, guys, if you're not required to have flood insurance, like if you're doing lending, generally the lender is going to require you get flood insurance. But that's only if it's in a floodplain. If these houses were in floodplains, they weren't required to get flood insurance. So it could be a huge, huge problem. But where we're going to jump into now, guys, is I'm going to take you into 2 CoreLogic reports so that we get an idea of how many households were actually impacted and how much damage was done as far as what we know right now. And then we're going to take a look at some footage and then really kind of pinpoint what cities got hit the worst. But let's start on the first CoreLogic report right now. This is going to be linked in my description for y'all to read as well, but this is CoreLogic. Here's how it goes. A history-making hurricane brings high flash flood risk to more than 7.2 million homes in just Florida. The National Hurricane Center currently forecasts that the entire state of Florida is at some level of flash flood risk due to heavy rainfall from Hurricane Ian. Most of the state is moderate at 40% or greater risk. The cities of Tampa Bay and Orlando have a 70% chance of flash flooding. CoreLogic estimates at 7.2 million single and multifamily residents with a combined total reconstruction value of 1.6 trillion are within the moderate and high flash flood risk bounds as forecasted by NHC. And just to give you guys an idea of the path of Hurricane Ian, you can kind of see that not only did it hit Florida where it's purple here, this was the biggest hit right here, which is obviously Tampa Bay, Naples, Boca Grande, Cape Coral, places like that. But it also swung right and it's hitting the Carolinas as well. So this storm is still going. It's not even done yet. You guys look at this chart here. This is the rainfall. And this is where, and this is going to hurt a lot of people, not just the wind damage, but the water damage, because that rain in that storm system generally sits in the area for extended periods of time where most metro areas can't drain that much rapid water. So it's a huge problem, you guys. So obviously, you guys, this is a huge problem. Up to 7.2 million homes in just Florida can be impacted by flash flood, high flood warnings, which can equal up to $1.6 trillion of damage. They're saying that this hurricane is one of the most destructive hurricanes to ever make landfall in Florida. And again, you guys, I believe that because of the part of Florida that it hit very densely populated, very rich coastal cities. And again, unlike Hurricane Harvey, where our, in Houston, our coastal city is Galveston. Galveston's not that nice. Florida took a massive hit, you guys. And my fear is it's going to take several years to those markets to rebound. And not only that, it's going to be much more expensive to insure those properties now that they have flooded and been hit by a hurricane. And just to give you an idea of how much water actually hit Florida, take a look at this time lapse right now. This is a time lapse from Fort Myers Beach. Okay. And I want you guys to pay attention at the water rush right here. I mean, you see the car drive by. And then now, water starts to come in, it starts to get windy. The power of water is it's just shocking. You really don't know how powerful this stuff is until you're actually in it. And that's the problem. I mean, look at this, you guys. This is an ocean. I mean, the ocean is in and on Florida now. I mean, this is extremely devastating. And watch how it kind of kicks up. I mean, it turns into a storm. It gets super wavy. I mean, this is wild, guys. It's absolutely wild. And another thing, you guys, these families are going to be in need for quite some time. Not only that, the health risk involved are out of control because these people are going to have to gut their houses. And there's probably not even people that can even start construction yet. There's probably not people that can even pick up trash. They're still out of power. There's going to be a lot of rebuilding that's going to need to take place pretty much immediately. And this is going to be super hard as we go into a recession. I'm very afraid for these people. So I suspect, obviously, something's going to get passed for the government to help these people out because, quite frankly, you guys, they need help, right? I know the inflation. I know we don't want to print money, but, we're talking about families on the street. We're talking about families that have no home, or even worse, families that have lost loved ones. So this is really heavy, you guys. And again, this hits home because I was in Hurricane Harvey and I went through everything. I was on those boats. I was with sheriffs, medics. I saw elderly people get swept away right in front of me that I had to jump after and rescue. So this is really heavy to me, guys. So we need to show them a lot of support, a lot of love, maybe even go there to help out with the rebuilding. And that's why I want you to stay to the end of this video, because I want to challenge you guys to match me in my donation. But not only am I making that donation, I'm going to give all of the proceeds that I make from this video to a relief effort in Florida. And if you guys can, comment below, give me some ideas of someone to donate to. I've already donated to one company, but I would rather donate to someone that's boots on the ground in the epicenter, because I believe the money is going to be put to better use. But stay to the end of this video. What I'm going to jump into now is the second report from CoreLogic that goes into a little bit more of the damages that they see financially right now. All right, y'all. Like the other report, this is going to be linked in my description. This is CoreLogic's report. Estimated losses from Hurricane Ian wind storm surge are between $28 billion and $47 billion in costliest Florida storm since Hurricane Andrew. And I'm going to read a little bit of this, guys. Obviously, we still are missing information. We really don't know the extent of the damage yet because the storm is not yet done. According to this new data analysis, wind losses for residential and commercial properties in Florida are expected to be between $22 billion and $32 billion. Insured storm surge losses in Florida are expected to be an additional $6 billion to $15 billion. And you guys know, and I've been watching Michael's videos and watch his videos, the insurance companies don't want to insure a lot of houses in Florida right now. So after this storm, it's going to be even worse. Now let's read this next paragraph. The implications of Hurricane Ian recovery. With inflation at a 40-year high, interest rates nearing 7%, and labor as well as materials still in high demand, CoreLogic anticipates recovery will be slow and difficult. Though recent legislation like the Inflation Reduction Acts aim to improve infrastructure and resilience, the real estate industry today is posed to evolve. We're at a crossroads with Hurricane Ian in terms of adaptability to today's catastrophe risk environment. Infrastructure and building building codes will evolve so that we can be more resilient ahead of what are bound to be more history-making storms in the near future. We cannot just rebuild. We need to restore for resilience. And that is an amazing point, you guys. But the thing is, how can you really build against a category 4 hurricane? Whatever's in the walls of that storm is going to be destroyed. But regardless, something needs to change because hurricanes happen every single year. So these damages are completely out of control. Now look at this next chart here, just so you guys kind of, see the differences in the storm surge versus the wind. So the wind damage was actually a lot more damaging so far versus the initial storm surge at an estimated $22 to $32 billion for the wind damage for insurance and $6 to $15 billion for the actual storm surge. All right, and here's another chart just so you guys can see what metro areas got hit and at what category. And you can see that Cape Coral actually was the only metro area in Florida to get hit at category 4 power from the hurricane. So obviously it's going to be devastated, as is Fort Myers. Fort Myers also, they got devastated, you guys. So anyone in the Cat 4 category, that may be where you want to spend time on helping and providing relief. And those are going to be the metro areas that unfortunately, that probably take the longest to rebuild. And this is not an overnight fix. Now, here's the category 3 column right here. And as you can see, category 3, we're including Northport and Sarasota, also Punta Gorda, and also Arcadia. So those metro areas are also heavily damaged. Category 2, obviously, that's when Naples and Marco got hit. And I have family in Naples and Marco, so I was obviously calling them Avon Park as well. And category 1, we're adding more additional cities as well. Down here, as you can see, there is a lot of rebuilding to come. Which brings me back to the other thing, emotions. That's why I constantly tell you guys, when purchasing a home, when looking for a home, check your emotions at the door, right? It's just a house. But not only is it just a house, it can be one of the best investments of your life. And another thing, you guys, now that I have children, if I have a hurricane coming, again, like Hurricane Harvey, I'm out. I'm leaving town so fast. I'm driving straight to Dallas or San Antonio. You guys got to leave town when something like this happens. I want to show you where I'm going to start my donating at. This is going to be in my description, guys. And I chose Feeding Florida because I remember when I was out working, I work about 5 days immediately after Hurricane Harvey, about 16 hours a day. When I would come in to rest or something along those lines, the food, I don't know who the people were, but we would always have hot food for us and coffee. And you guys, it was so needed. So I donated here. And if you guys know of a better charity, please let me know. And I'm going to show you guys right here that I actually did donate. And here's the confirmation of my donation. You guys can see this was done the 30th at 9:47 a.m. for $500. And again, I'm only showing you that because I want to challenge to whoever's in a good position out of consumer debt, has a lot of money saved. You guys match my donation. But not only that, I'm also, like I said, going to donate all the proceeds that I make from this video to an additional charity. And I'm going to do that on my next housing market update video, which will hopefully be Thursday. Obviously, I postponed this Thursday's housing market video. I'll be releasing that tomorrow, and I'm really excited about that housing market update video because I have a lot of new information to give you guys. Now, to all of my viewers in Florida, again, you guys, my heart goes out to you guys. Stay strong, help some people out. Don't worry, things will get better and help is on the way. Other than that, you guys, stay safe out there. Keep working hard. And to all the Florida victims, you're in my family's thoughts and prayers.